11, it says to evaluate, A is the cosine of 5/6 pi. I'm first of all just going to draw a quick unit circle here that just has 0, pi over 2, pi, and 3/2 pi on it. Okay, so cosine 5/6 pi, if you're using the hand trick or whatever, the hand trick would be your ring finger, 0, pi over 6. So cosine would be what's above it, which is a 3. So this is going to be the square root of 3 over 2. And then I just have to decide which quadrant it's in. So 5/6 pi is a little bit before pi, so it's going to be over here. And cosine over there is the x value, which is negative. So this answer will be negative square root of 3 over 2. Part B says the cotangent of pi over 4. So I know that cotangent is 1 over the tangent, or instead of being sine over cosine, it's going to be the cosine of pi over 4 divided by the sine of pi over 4. So if I find the cosine of pi over 4, 0, pi over 6, pi over 4 is right in the middle. It's my middle finger. I have 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom, so the cosine is going to be 2, so it'll be square root of 2 over 2. And then over sine is also the square root of 2 over 2. And pi over 4 is in the first quadrant, which means both values are positive, so the square root of 2 divided by the square root of 2 will be 1. Right, part C, the cosecant of 8/3 pi. First of all, cosecant we know is 1 over sine of 8/3 pi. I'm then going to think about what's happening at the thirds. So it's 0, pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3. The sine is on the bottom, so there are 3 fingers on the bottom, so it's going to be the square root of 3 over 2. And now I need to figure out 8/3 pi. I know that 6/3 pi would be all the way around the circle, because 6/3 pi would be 2, and then I'd have 2/3 left over. So I'm going to go all the way around the circle, and then 2/3 pi more, which again is going to be in this second quadrant. So the sign in that second quadrant is a y value, which is going to be positive. So this is going to be 1 over the square root of 3 over 2, so it will be positive. And now I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, so it will be 1 over 1 times 2 over the square root of 3. So this will be 2 divided by the square root of 3. If you would like to rationalize the denominator, so that would be an acceptable answer. If we would like to rationalize the denominator, multiply the numerator and the denominator by the square root of 3. So I'd get 2 square root of 3 over 3. So that would be another answer that would be acceptable. Problem 12. Simplify 3n over 3n plus 4 minus 3 over n plus 6. So I would like to get a common denominator on this one. I'm first of all just going to check this 3n plus 4 to see if it would factor, and it will not. So my common denominator is going to be 3n plus 4 n plus 6. All right, so for both of those, that's going to be my common denominator. Okay, so I notice on this top one, I'm going to have to multiply the 3n. It is missing the n plus 6. And then the second one is missing the 3n plus 4. So that's what I'm going to do. And then from here, I'm going to distribute the 3n to both parts. I'm going to get 3n squared plus 18n. And then be careful, this minus goes to both parts. So when I'm distributing it, I make sure that I do that. So I'm going to get minus 9n minus 12, and it's going to be all over that common denominator. So now I can just turn it into one big fraction, and now I can just combine like terms up top. So I'm going to have 3n squared plus 9n minus 12, and it's going to be all over 3n plus 4 n plus 6. And we could stop at that spot. If you did want to factor, I noticed in the numerator we could factor out a 3, so I am going to do that. I'm going to get n squared plus 3n minus 4, and then it's still all over that common denominator. That didn't really do too much for me because I do not believe that that expression can be factored. Yes, it can be factored actually if you'd want to. So this answer is 100% okay, but if you wanted to factor this, I believe this would factor as n plus 4 n minus 1 over 3n plus 4 n plus 6. But this was not necessary. If you ended it at this step, that would be 100% okay. Right, number 13, we would like to simplify. And I notice it's a complex fraction, so I will end up multiplying by the reciprocal, but first I have to take care of the denominator and turn this into one fraction. So the common denominator is going to be 2x. So 2x. I do notice that I'm going to have to multiply the numerator and denominator of this one by 2, so I'll get 12 over 2x, and the second fraction I'll have to multiply the top and the bottom by x, so I'm going to get x over 2x. And now if I just put those together, I'll have 12 minus x over 2x. Now I'm ready to multiply that by the reciprocal, so I'm going to have 15 over 2x plus 2 times 2x over 12 minus x. And one thing that I am going to do, this 2x plus 2, I'm going to change into 2x plus times the quantity x plus 1, because that will factor. And so now I can cancel those 2's. And so now when I'm multiplying across, I'm going to get 15x over x plus 1, and then times 12 minus x. So then that would be my answer for that one. Okay, number 14, we want to simplify 2x minus 5 to the 5th power. So we are going to think about Pascal's triangle on this one, just to make it a lot easier for us. 1, 4, 6, I don't have my Pascal's triangle in front of me, so I'm just going to try to do 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. Okay, so my coefficients are going to be 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. Okay, so first of all, we're going to start out with 2x to the highest power. So 2x to the 5th, 2x to the 4th, 2x to the 3rd, 2x to the 2nd, 2x to the 1st, and then it drops out. And then going backwards with, and notice we have to take the negative 5. So negative 5 to the 5th, negative 5 to the 4th, negative 5 to the 3rd, negative 5 to the 2nd, negative 5 to the 1st, and then it drops out. And for right now, I'm going to put plus signs in between each one. Okay, and now we just get to evaluate it. So 2x to the 5th, please remember, is 2 to the 5th and x to the 5th. So this will be 32x to the 5th. And then this next one, we are going to have, I'm going to just kind of write this here. We're going to have 5 times 2x to the 4th would be 16x to the 4th times negative 5 to the 1st is negative 5. And then plus 10 times 8x to the 3rd times negative 5 squared is 25. And then plus, let's see, 10 times 4x squared times negative 125. And then plus 5 times 2x times negative 5 to the 4th. I think it's 625, but let's just do this real quick to make sure. 5, 12, it is 625. Okay, 625. And then plus 1 times 5 to the 5th, which will be 3,000. I lost my pen. Negative 3,125. Okay, so now let's just clean this up. So we're going to have 32x to the 5th. And then when I multiply the 5 times the 16 times the negative 5, I'm going to get minus 400x to the 4th. And then 10 times 8 times 25 will be plus 2,000x to the 3rd. And then 10 times 4 times negative 125 will be minus 5,000x to the 2nd. And then 5 times 2 times 625 will be a positive 6,250x, and then minus 3,125. So, got that one done. All right. Okay, if f of x, number 15, if f of x equals 2x squared plus x minus 13, find f of x plus delta x minus f of x all over delta x. Okay, the biggest thing on this one, this is the expression we're dealing with. We are going to replace the things in f of x with this. So we're starting with this. So I'm going to write this until I get to something. So this says f of x plus delta x, which means wherever I see an x in the function, I am going to put x plus delta x. So I'm going to put x plus delta x there and here. So I'm going to have 2. Instead of the x, I'm going to put x plus delta x squared plus x plus delta x minus 13. Okay, so that was this whole first part. Now it says minus f of x. Well, they told me what f of x equaled. So f of x equals 2x squared plus x minus 13. Please notice that I put it in parentheses. And then all over delta x. And now we just get to clean it up. All right, so we're going to have 2. X plus delta x squared is x squared plus 2x delta x plus delta x squared. You could either use Pascal's triangle or FOIL that. And then plus x plus delta x minus 13. This minus is going to distribute to all 3 parts. So minus 2x squared minus x plus 13 all over delta x. Now I'm going to distribute the 2, so I'll get 2x squared plus 4x delta x plus 2 delta x squared plus x plus delta x minus 13 minus 2x squared minus x plus 13, still all over delta x. And now canceling out what I can, the 2x squareds will cancel out, the x's will cancel out, the 13's will cancel out. So I am left with 4x delta x plus 2 delta x squared plus delta x all over delta x. I notice up top now I can factor out a delta x, and I will get 4x plus 2 delta x plus 1, because delta x goes into delta x one time, all over delta x. I can now cancel my delta x's, and I will be left with 4x squared plus 2 delta x plus 1. So as brutal as that was, that is my answer. And what should happen when you do this step right here, everything that doesn't have a delta x in it should always cancel out. Just a little FYI.